She went from skating, running, she was taking gymnastics lessons, she could do backflips and cartwheels across my backyard.
Yeah.
And it's just like starting over from a baby, moving all the way up to getting her to walk again.
Wow. Oh, it's a case that attracted national attention, and it is back in the news today as the family of a teen forced into a psych ward after a dispute over a medical diagnosis more than 5 years ago heads back to court. Let's bring in criminal defense attorney Bob Bianchi. Bob, give us lay of the land with this case and what's happening here.
So in 2010, she was at Tufts Medical Center, and she had a number of doctors that said she had a rare cellular disease that they were treating her for. In 2013, she went to Boston Medical Center because she had the flu, and the doctors there said, you know what, we've made a determination that all those diagnoses, all those treatments from the Tufts doctors are wrong. She has a psychiatric condition, and that's the reason for her problems, and they wanted to remand her into a psychiatric facility. When the parents made the mere request, guys, to say, well, we want to go to another hospital and another doctor, the answer by Boston Medical Center was contacting the Division of Family Services and getting an order from a court so that she was then put in a locked down psychiatric facility, denied her medications for her physical condition that she had been treated for years, and it took the parents 16 months, I believe, approximately, to fight through the courts. And interestingly, the Child Protective Services eventually reversed its decision and said, you know what, she should go back to the custody and care of her parents and the doctors they want. In the meantime, she lost all those meds. She's unable to walk. She has to be rehabilitated. And I love what the father said to me, which was just really amazing, that he is going to pass a law, or try to pass a law, where hospitals can no longer use Child Protective Services as their wingmen to take children away when there's a dispute in what the medical diagnosis is.
Because that's what they see having happened here, and they're claiming malpractice in this latest lawsuit. Do they have a case? They
have a case for a malpractice, and that includes two things. They got civil rights violations and they got medical malpractice. Unfortunately, it's a tough legal case. I'm not saying they can't win it, but the reason is by the law says that the doctors that they're suing had to have acted at the lowest level of acceptable medical treatment in order to be liable, and that is a very difficult standard. We talked about tort reform before many years. A lot of plaintiffs' lawyers were against it because they thought it prevented people from having viable lawsuits. Well, those protections in the tort reform law make it a difficult legal case, but on the facts of this particular case, they've got a shot.
Bob, if a hospital says so-and-so, such and such patient, family member of yours or friend, should be submitted to a psych ward, what are the rights of parents to say, we don't want that for our kid?
You do what these parents do. You go bankrupt as you try to go through the court system. That's what happened. They went bankrupt in trying to fight this. And you know what? I do have two personal experiences where there were differential diagnoses given. One was my wife. For many years, she suffered because the doctors were saying that this is what the situation is. When it turned out that she was on every medication possible, every expert she went to said she had a problem, gave her a pill, gave her a pill, gave her a pill. In the end, a great diagnostician found out that it was simply from a broken ankle, and all she needed was physical rehab. I'm not trying to malign the medical profession. I have a lot of regard for them, but sometimes they go into a pigeonholed idea that this is what the diagnosis is. Come hell or high water, they're going to stick with that.
So
and that's
under
what this
the law,
hospital did.
what are the rights of the family members to say we don't want that?
Unfortunately, the rights for them, they have to go to court and they have to try to convince a court. But Bill, you bring up an interesting dynamic about what's really going on in the real world. So a hospital contacts the Division of Family Services and says that my child, that this child is in need of these services and the parents are denying it. Well, that then goes to court, and the court listens to what that hospital said and what that division said.
But they won't allow that family to get a second opinion from another medical professional?
They do in most instances, and we don't know specifically what was done here, but the point is it becomes kind of a one says it and then the other one follows. What is the Division of Protective Family Services doing taking a child based on medical diagnosis when they don't have the medical expertise? Now, this state has done something interesting. Based on this suit, they've decided they're going to have a team of doctors and psychiatrists
in Massachusetts.
to ensure this doesn't happen again.
Bob Bianchi, very interesting story.
Thanks.
Thank you for that.